To the Subway Series. The Mets won last night 9-7. Gerrit Cole, still not right. I'm not saying he's hurt, but he's still not at his top level, in which he won the Cy Young last year. And what I said yesterday, I thought it was a perfect manifestation in the first inning yesterday, guys. They load the bases, nobody out. So the top of the Yankee order is as good as anybody's top of their order, as good as anybody's. Right. So they all get on. The next three guys strike out. So I have today's lineup. It just came out. And Gleyber Torres is not playing. Now, I'm sure it's going to be spun that his groin's a little tight. When he didn't run after the Judge home run.
It's embarrassing.
They had to sit him down. Even David Cohn and Paul O'Neill said, our managers in the past, meaning Joe Torre, was, all right, sit next to me a couple of days. Clear your mind. So playing second base today is Oswaldo Cabrera. I'll give you the whole lineup. Volpe, Soto, and Judge. All right, so that's the pro portion of the lineup. Batting cleanup is a DH, J.D. Davis. Batting cleanup. Batting fifth is Alex Verdugo. He's in a terrible slump, 0 for his last 20. DJ LeMahieu is batting in the sixth spot, playing third. Jose Trevino will catch, hitting seventh. Batting eighth, playing first base, Ben Rice. And batting ninth and playing second base is Oswaldo Cabrera. There's a lot to unpack here. This lineup, as presently constructed, is not good enough to win a championship. I'm sorry. There will be reinforcements. They'll get Stanton back in a month, hopefully. You'll get Rizzo back in 2 months, but although he wasn't really pounding the baseball anyway, this is a compromised lineup right now where you have to bat J.D. Davis cleanup. J.D. Davis struck out into a double play in his 3 at-bats yesterday. Yesterday, you had to bat Gleyber Torres in the cleanup spot. Gleyber Torres is 2 for his last 29. Gleyber Torres has not played good baseball. Gleyber Torres made an error last night. He has 12 errors, more than any second baseman in the major leagues. This is a guy who last year hit 273 with 25 home runs and 68 ribbies. He's not even close to that. So there are guys like Aaron Judge, when their last year of their contract, you know what they do? They go out and hit 62 home runs. And guys like Juan Soto, in the last year of his contract, putting together an MVP-type season. I don't think Gleyber Torres is handling the fact that he could be is going to be a free agent. I don't think he's handling it well. He's 27 years old. He should be in the prime of his career, and he looks lost. He looks overmatched. So I just don't see how the Yankees, with this lineup, as presently constructed, unless they make a deal, are going to be able to win a lot of games over the next month or so. They're going to have to do it totally on pitching, and their pitching has hit a little bit of a skid. We'll see if Luis Gil tonight against Sean Manaea can bounce back after his bad start that he had. We'll see. The bullpen has been a little shaky as well. Yankees made a spirited comeback yesterday. You'd have to ask me a million times, and I have no answer for it, why in the Almighty's name would anybody throw a fastball on 0-2 right down the middle of Aaron Judge? When we said during the show yesterday, you can't pitch to Judge and Soto. I know the bases were loaded. Force it a run. Walk him. You had him 0-2 on 2 cutters. Then you go with a fastball right over the middle of the plate. That's just dumb. They almost lost the game because of that, Don.
Well, but to your point, once you get Judge out of the way, there wasn't just enough outs or enough innings for the Yankees to be able to come back.
But you don't want him to get out of the way with a grand slam.
No, I'm with you. You don't want 9-2, and all of a sudden you're in a 9-7 game. But I'm thinking at that particular moment, all right, well, now the bases are empty, and we get back to work at that order, and we don't have to worry about it because you probably won't get the Judge again if we just take care of business the rest of the way because there's only 3 guys to worry about in this batting order. That's the problem. So I understand from cosmetically it looked bad that you almost blew the lead, but I'm just telling you as a fan, the way that order right now post-Judge is, I don't think you were really all that worried. As bad as the Mets bullpen has been, you're still going to be able to navigate through it. I'm with you. You don't have to throw him a cookie and give up the grand slam, but this is a problem. Now, they still have more wins than anybody, right? But the Phillies got 52 and Cleveland's got 51. Now, a lot of that was built earlier in the season. You are making the playoffs. And Baltimore has blown an opportunity here to overtake the Yankees because they've lost 5 in a row. So, so there's 2 separate things here. There's no issue. The Yankees are making the playoffs. But what you're seeing are the holes that are going to stop you from winning a championship. But good thing they're happening here in June, 5 weeks before the trade deadline. You know what to address. A bad thing would be happening if this was August, Michael, and you were stuck with what you have. So this gives Brian Cashman time to go to work. And the other thing, too, and I know of a different era, and Aaron's not going to do this. If you are going to tell the media today that the reason Gleyber Torres is out of lineup because his groin's tightening, then why not just play him anyway? I mean, part of benching a guy for not running it out is to embarrass him. And by embarrassing him, you say he is sitting because he didn't bust it down the first base line. By protecting him, then what exactly are you benching him for?
Well, he would say he knows why he's being benched, so that's the punishment.
No. But that's not good enough for me. Because part of the embarrassment is everybody knows. If you're protecting me, then what is it? I know I'm being benched because of my groin. But what really embarrasses people, everybody else knows. Now, the assumption can be made that they're protecting him, but don't you think there's more value to it to say, I'm sitting him down because he didn't bust it down the first base line? I mean, how far do we have to go to protect these players? Especially a guy you know's gone at the end of the year and a guy that isn't doing anything worth his salary anyway. Like, how far are you willing to go to protect these players, Michael? It's ridiculous. Has he earned protection?
Well, I think that, it's complicated. I hear what you're saying, so I can't just completely dismiss it. But you're also, when you do something to one player, you're doing it to the other 25. So everybody notices what you do. And if you're trying to send a message, I don't think you have to send a message to the rest of the team because, Aaron Judge, in a game that the Yankees were losing 9-1, makes a diving, sprawling catch in center field.
Right.
Anthony Volpe's hustling down the line, caused an error. By Nunez, who couldn't catch a ball from Alonso. So they're hustling. The other guys are hustling. Gleyber Torres is playing with his head somewhere else. I don't know what it is.
Exactly. So to me, I look at the other way. It sends a message to the rest of my team. I'm willing to protect you when you're worth protecting. But if you're not going to give me something back, then why should I protect you? I'm not treating everybody equally here. The Aaron Judges of the world, the Juan Sotos of the world, they deserve protection. I will go to bat for those guys. I'll go to bat for Volpe. But why should I go to bat for Gleyber Torres just because he wears the pinstripes? He's not giving me anything.
But that's how Boone does his job.
Well, I know, but I don't agree with it. And obviously he's got the job. I don't. But you benched him. And if you benched him for the reason of not busting it down the first base line, I think you're going to get more out of it by the public knowing why you did.
But you already made your bet last night, Don, when he said, well, he's been mad at, sometimes he doesn't run hard down the line because he's been at a tight groin. And then Gleyber Torres said that he had a tight groin. So it's all set up. It's also, that's what they're going to say.
Well,
he's not going to come out today in the press conference at 4:30 and say, well, we benched him because he didn't run hard. He's not going to say it.
Then I don't see where you're getting more the bang for your buck by benching him in the first place.
Because he's not playing well.
But
he can't field and he can't hit. That's a bad combination.
And I don't think there's anything wrong, even in the modern day of sports, to be able to tell people why something is happening.
Well, people disagree with you.
Also, Don, I just want to... I have so many things I want to tell you about the Easter Bunny and about so many fantasies that are just not real. But you living in a world where that is going to happen on this Yankee team. Don, you are in fantasy.
All right, but then don't bench him.
Well, no, listen.
But they're benching because he's not playing well.
Yeah, it's not that. You thinking there's a world in which on any real baseball team, but particularly here, I love Boone, but the Boone-led Yankees do not do that.
That's not going to sway me into still feeling like it's wrong and it's unproductive. And I think you are rewarding the rest of your team by saying, you know what? There are going to be times I might bench you for the same reason. But because you busted for me most times and because you've been productive, then I am going to treat you differently and I am going to protect you. But for a guy that's not hitting and then the audacity not to bust it down the first base line and be lazy, and I'm benching you for that reason, you know what? If I'm the manager, I'm telling the world why. The full-blown 100% benching somebody and the embarrassment that comes with that. By protecting him, then I don't think you're getting the bang for your buck from sitting him down.
Well, one thing that we've seen from Gleyber this year, and he's a very nice guy, okay? Very mellow. He's played a terrible second base. And every time that's been brought up to Aaron, he defends him to the hilt. About a week ago when he dropped the pop-up because he was nonchalant, he said, you know what, he catches balls like that all the time, and you kind of wince a little bit, but he always makes the play, whatever. And he goes, but you guys never talk about when he makes good plays. And then he makes a terrible terrible mistake, which is one of the main reasons they lost the game. They had the infield in, the ball is hit to him sharply, and the out would have been at home plate easily, and the ball got by him for an error. And again, he was asked about that, and he goes, you guys never ask about the good play. Aaron, he has 12 errors, more than any other second baseman in Major League Baseball. So how many great plays are there? He's made 12 errors. The only guy who's made more errors is Ellie De La Cruz of Cincinnati with 15. That's it.
But Aaron, come back to me. When do I have to ask what happened on a great play? I only have to ask what happened on a bad play. So, I mean, you talk about rainbows and unicorns, Peter, and the Easter Bunny. Well, what media member is going to say, hey, Aaron, what happened on that great play at second base?
We're in the middle of the Pinstripe Report, brought to you by Samwell Institute for Pain Management and by Bet365. Another thing, and I think that Don and Peter and all the people that listen to the show know this, I worship at the church of Gerrit Cole.
Oh, yeah.
I have for years. I've defended him when I don't think he needs to be defended. But I got to tell you, and the Yankees will push back on this. They will not like this. He should not be rehabbing in the major leagues. He's not quite all the way back. He's just not. And we asked Aaron Boone that, well, who's going to give me a better 4 innings than Gerrit Cole?
Gerrit Cole.
Well, he gave up 4 home runs yesterday. He didn't strike out a batter in a start for the first time since 2016. Only 2 times in his career has he never struck out a batter in a start. He's not giving you the best of Gerrit Cole. These starts should be being made at AAA or at Somerset, where he should be built up to 90, 95 pitches. You see what happened. He threw 99 miles an hour in the first inning. He had a long first inning. He ran out of gas, and after that he was throwing 91, 92, 93. I'm not saying that there's anything wrong with him. The guy didn't have spring training. You can't tell me 3 starts in the minor leagues is enough. You just can't. And I know they're strapped right now, especially with Cody Poteet being injured and Clark Schmidt being down. Bring somebody else up. This guy is your gold. He is your platinum. He is the gold standard in baseball. He should only be put on the mound when he's 100%. He should not be being built up here in the major leagues. It doesn't make sense. And I said it before, although he pitched okay against the Orioles, they ended up losing that game. Why? Because he could only give them 62 pitches. Why would you have a starter come up who is only stretched out to 65 pitches? It doesn't make sense.
And if you had him on today instead of yesterday, he couldn't have used that. Well, who would have been better to give you 4 innings to Gerrit Cole? A lot of people would have given you a better 4 innings than yesterday. He clearly did not have the location on his fastball, and he's literally working through it on the major league level. And the Mets were able to take advantage of that in a game that matters. I mean, it matters for the standings. So if that were Somerset, then you let him make his 70 pitches, work through it, gives up a bunch of hits. Who cares? It doesn't matter to his record. It's not on the major league level. The Patriots understand that they're there to serve the Cole purpose. But to have it happen in a game that means something for the standings, that doesn't make any sense.
You're unbelievable.
Well, it was a tough one for Yankee fans to watch. It got interesting at the end because of Judge, but again, it's the top of the order and then flip a coin. I mean, the guys that actually made a difference was Austin Wells pinch hitting, Ben Rice pinch hitting. I mean, the bottom of the order gave them nothing. I mean, all due respect, Jahmai Jones was the DH yesterday, and their DH today is J.D. Davis. I don't know how you build. I don't know how you could guard against older players getting hurt. Brian Cashman is the one who said it during the winter meetings, and he was 100% right. We know that Stanton's going to get hurt at some point. The problem was I don't think the Yankees thought that Stanton was going to be this good and how much they would miss him. And the other thing is they really got kicked right in the teeth when Jason Dominguez went down with an oblique pull, because this is his spot to come up and do his job. But unfortunately, he's hurt. The kid got hurt. He's going to be out for 2 months. So, I mean, did they know that Rizzo was going to fall running into a pitcher in Boston and break his arm? No, they didn't know that. But they did know that Stanton was going to get hurt, and their backup plan was Dominguez. And then, unfortunately for them, Dominguez got hurt. So they're in a bad spot right now. They're in a bad spot right now.